All right. We're here. Jack is glassesless. The Celtics are winless.
Just to
What a
clarify,
Friday we have.
That wasn't a look of exhaustion. That was a look of I can't see anything.
Oh,
was
that's no fun.
We might need Sam to run point today.
No.
Oh,
Ready?
no.
We're gonna.
You don't
we're
want
gonna,
that.
Here, ready? Let me clear out the desk here. We'll do a nice thing.
Clear out ISO.
POV.
Is that the Kobe call?
Yeah. Ready? Jack tries to. Let's see. Okay. Oh no. Oh.
All right.
All right.
Also, to add to it, I know that Jack was up at least 3:15, and I was up an hour later. So this show might get a little bit loopy.
You should have seen pregame yesterday. You're back where you started, Jack.
Yeah, there's still some paper towel on there, but we're here.
Are we going Horace Grant goggles for basketball today?
If I had them, yes.
You need to buy like a sick pair. Of
I
goggles.
know.
Like just all in, like pick a super fly looking pair of them that are also kind of ridiculous and just.
I used to have goggles, but I need to buy new ones.
Ray used to have goggles.
Man, I wish. No, I need to buy a new pair of goggles. I need to buy a new pair of glasses, and at the same time, I'll buy a new pair of goggles, and then we'll be set. I need to go cut off some of this glue before basketball, but until then, we're just gonna have to make it work.
Oh man,
that's all right. All right. At least I won't be blind. Let's see.
Big reveal.
Yeah, I can't wait to see.
I need to wipe off.
You ever seen it How I Met Your Mother with the boots where they're like pulling it off?
No, I haven't. My girlfriend loves How I Met Your Mother.
I used to like it fell off hard.
That.
Oh no, I pulled it a little.
Yeah, I heard a noise that was concerning, but they look
fine.
Better than it being your knee.
Very true.
Shut up, PJ. Hello, everybody. All right. I got a nice text from our Uruguayan friend last night.
Has he seen enough?
It was just Payton Pritchard's box score with 0-0-0, which I just felt like wasn't relevant to the game at all. It's just Bobby, if you don't know,
where was he?
He is a chatter whose chat name is just N in our chat. He's from Uruguay, and his whole thing is he thinks Payton Pritchard is terrible. That's it. That's his only bit.
Can't co-sign it.
That's all he does. And so he sent me a picture of Payton Pritchard's box score last night, and that was the extent of his take on the game. That was it.
I mean, Pritchard overall, I would say, is having the best season of his career and has made such clear signs of growth, orchestrating the pick and roll. To me, I mean, I'm sorry that in 10 and a half minutes, he didn't give you more last night, but overall having a very nice season.
I agree.
Best season.
Shooting the ball well, taking care of it. Come on now. Let's not hate.
I agree.
It's funny, his efficiency is like down kind of just because he was barely shooting before and he would make all the shots. But now he actually has a little bit of room for error. So his efficiency numbers do take.
No, his efficiency's up.
He's had his moments.
He's up this season.
Is it?
This season, definitely.
Yeah, 44% from the field, 38 from three. It was down early in the season, but he's brought it all the way back.
That's what I'm remembering.
Yeah, he's playing well.
Outstanding assist to turnover ratio.
Oh yeah, higher than his career average from three. My bad.
He's killing it. But Celtics did not get the win last night. Lost to the Nuggets, 115-109. Rough game. It was kind of like I talked when we were talking to Sam. I phrased it as not a perfect comparison, but it felt like a little bit of an opposite of the Cavs game, where the Celtics played bad for 3 quarters and then picked it up, whereas the Cavs, they played well for 3 quarters, then lost it. I see people in our comments, somebody saying the Nuggets played bad too, which is like, I don't know if you can say the Nuggets played bad. They didn't shoot the ball well, but I think they played a pretty good game outside of that one area. But the Celtics just didn't do enough. They made too many mistakes in too many areas. And when you're playing a team like the Nuggets, that's just not going to cut it. So tough game. Bobby, what are some of your big takeaways from that?
Well, one of them is what we talked about 2 shows ago, which is that the Nuggets get a good shot almost every time down the floor. And for as well as I thought Drew Holiday did once the Celtics put him on Jokic, it's still okay. They didn't figure out how to contain Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot. And even though he didn't make them pay for the 2 shots they left him wide open from the corner and they seemed comfortable with that, he can make those. He's not shooting well right now, but if they see them in the finals and they leave him open, I get you have to live with something. He could make them pay for that. So it doesn't seem like the Celtics really have a grasp on how they want to slow down this Denver attack. And then on top of it, it's a very physical team to go against. I loved that this was like a finals or playoff like intensity and physicality to it, but also, one team once again figured out how to overcome shooting poorly from beyond the arc, and the Celtics, who haven't been able to climb to the NBA summit yet, they were once again the side that didn't.
The funny thing about this game is, like, I was certainly less mad than I was on Tuesday. One of those reasons is because they lost to a real team. Like, Denver had everybody healthy. They looked good. They played really good basketball. They were very surgical in the way that they picked the Celtics apart on defense, and it was very frustrating to see the Celtics not be able to get a stop. But a lot of that does have to be attributed to Jokic and how dominant he can be and patient and just a maniac with the basketball, where he's just controlling everything. It's harder to get stops, and he's also super strong, so that helps him too. The offense from the Celtics was kind of weird. Jaylen had all the points. He was great. His aggression was great. It was like at a perfect level where it didn't feel like Jaylen was being too much, where he was taking away from the rest of the team or throwing things off. I saw somebody tweet it like, these good teams are learning, like, if you want to beat the Celtics, make Jaylen be the guy and give him confidence to score and all that. But while I can see how that does make some sense, I don't think yesterday was one of the days where it was like, Jaylen bad or Jaylen too much, because it was like the perfect amount from Jaylen. He picked his spots very well. He was aggressive at the right times. He kept the Celtics within striking distance, where they almost won this game. The only thing you can really complain about is the free throws, even turnovers. They only had 2 for 41 points. That's not bad. The number one thing for me is just, you got to find a way to get stops when Jokic is not on the floor. That's the problem, because they did not play well in the non-Jokic minutes yesterday, and it cost them big time. That's what it felt like.
I agree. You can't take away from Jaylen in this game. Like, the free throws bad, yes, but 41 points. He was a big reason why they were in this game in the first place. But if you're looking for a game to show how important it is for Tatum to be the guy with the ball in his hands most of the time, this is unfortunately the game. Because for as great as Jaylen Brown's 41 points is, there's just such a huge difference between him being the primary option with the ball in his hands the entire time and Tatum with it. And the Nuggets did a great job of making sure that Tatum couldn't be effective in that role. And I don't think it's as much of, this shows why you need to make Jaylen Brown the scorer. I think it shows this is why you need to take away Jayson Tatum's ability to be the offensive hub for Boston. Because when he's not the offensive hub and it's Jaylen or even Porzingis or Holiday or Derek White, like, it's just not as effective. It's just not the title quality, like championship, like number one team in the league quality as it needs to be. And Tatum, to his credit, he had 5 turnovers, which was bad, but he still had 8 assists on this game. He knew it wasn't his game, so he deferred to his teammates, only took 13 shots. Every time Tatum touched the ball, I was watching a few of them last night, like, whenever he got the ball in a spot to shoot or make a pass, they blitzed him. Like, he didn't have a single, like, millisecond to do anything. And not only did they blitz him, but they blitzed him, cut off the passing lanes, and then had another guy ready to take away the pass, right? Like, it wasn't like, we're going to send 2 with the ball and everyone's just going to stick to their guys. It was, we're going to send Jokic, to cover or leave KP at the 3-point line briefly, have Tatum's guy cut off the pass to KP, and then have Jokic, cut off the pass to the other side of the floor, and then Peyton Watson's going to steal it when he tries to make the pass down low. Like, it was, we're going to take away every single normal option that you go to and force you to make the most difficult pass possible. And when Tatum didn't realize that soon enough, it was a turnover, and he's just not used to seeing that much pressure the whole time. So credit the Nuggets for changing things up enough to take him out of his rhythm. But for as much of the deserved, what's the word? Not what's the opposite of praise? The deserved
Criticism.
Thank you. That Tatum will get from this game. the Nuggets deserve just as much praise for the way they defended him.
Absolutely. And I think the answer there for Tatum is you have to apply more force. You have to assert your way against the defense that you will see in the playoffs, especially against, if they were to run into the Miami Heat, let's say, it'll look different because of personnel. But if they face the Nuggets in the finals, there might be some tweaks here and there, but that's essentially the blueprint for what they'll do and what other teams should take up as their model against Tatum. Because, Jack, you hit on the two most important parts there. Offensive hub, meaning not just Tatum, the scorer, but also these easy reads that teams are giving him in the regular season when they send a second defender his way, where he can whip a behind-the-back pass to Porzingis or just loft it over the double team, and now the Celtics have a numbers advantage to capitalize on. That wasn't there last night against Denver. So, yes, he had 8 assists, but you saw how quiet he was overall. And so that was props to Mike Malone and whoever on the coaching staff is responsible for that game plan, because that is a blueprint that every team that faces the Celtics in the playoffs should adopt.
So, do we think there is anybody else on this team that they can go to be able to do the kind of thing that you need from Tatum? Because
no,
there should be at least a little bit
disagree.
to take on. Let me finish. To
Okay.
take on some of the facilitating responsibilities. You have too many guys that can handle the ball to just say, okay, well, Tatum can't do it. What are we going to do? Time to panic. That's kind of what you saw for a while last night. I think that's why they struggled to make baskets for long stretches in the game, because they were getting blitzed. Tatum was getting blitzed. He was being taken out of the game. And to Jalen's credit, he did a great job of scoring and getting downhill and making things work for the Celtics in some degree. But you have guys like Drew Holiday, you have Derek White that should be able to set up their teammates. This isn't saying I think Derek White should draw 3 defenders, but it should be, okay, we can make this work. We have enough talent to make this work. And it's kind of strange that we didn't see it yesterday. Of course, they probably weren't expecting the defensive game plan that they got from Denver, but going forward, I'm curious to see how they are going to respond when teams do throw this kind of thing at them, because it was tough for them to score. And that's not been a story at all this season with the Celtics.
I think they do have guys who can set up their teammates, but there's nobody who can even come close to doing it in the way and at the success level that Tatum does, because they're just not going to draw the same pressure. Even Brown, for as phenomenal as he was in that game, again, I don't want to diminish what he did. It was a lot of, I'm putting my head down and scoring the ball. There wasn't a lot of, let me get to a lane, draw multiple defenders, and see what play I can make. What's up, Pete? How we doing? And so I think that's the difference right there. Like, it is a completely different mindset. And yes, I think Derek White and Drew Holiday can make plays, but they have to be, okay, let's set a pick and roll. Let's design this play. And if that first pass, read there to KP isn't there, which sometimes it wasn't, and KP had a really rough game in this one.
Could not catch the ball.
They're not going to be able to find that second layer read like Tatum does, because even if they see it, like, they're just not big enough or tall enough or long enough to make the pass across the corridor or find another guy. And the Nuggets did a good job of taking away the passing lanes at that point in general. And they don't have to double Derek White or Drew Holiday like they had to double Jayson Tatum to pressure him. So I think in theory, like, yes, the offense, and not even in theory, like, the offense should be able to find better ways to run without Tatum, but you just can't get anywhere close to the same play style and success level of driving and kicking when Tatum does it with anybody else.
Furthermore, just because you have Derek White, and the Derek White Porzingis pick and roll has been arguably their most reliable source of offense this season, but what does it look like on a high diet of it as the primary initiator for them in the playoffs against a really smart team? Might be a different story just in terms of, can that carry you to a victory? And just because they're doing that, or it's Drew Holiday running it in White's place, doesn't mean the defenses are going to change how they treat Tatum in particular, but also Jaylen Brown. It's not going to be, well, now it's an easy kick out to them and they get to attack downhill off the catch or get clean looks at 3 or whatever. It's going to be tilted towards, okay, as long as we run them off the line, we'll let Derek White or Drew Holiday primarily beat us from inside the arc as scorers. Just keep them off the foul line.
It's fair. It just feels like this team is too deep to not be able to respond when something like that happens.
And for what it's worth, I think a lot of it's a very like observation. It also didn't help that KP just had like a really bad scoring night. Like he just couldn't make anything. And so when he's not making anything, their ability to create offense outside of Jayson Tatum goes from like, yeah, they probably should, to like, what the hell do you want from us? Like if Drew Holiday and Derek White are supposed to create offense and kick it, like if they're gonna leave anybody open on that night, it's gonna be Porzingis. And if he's not making it, like, sorry, like what? Like there's not much. Like you can't go to a sixth guy. And so you kind of need him. Like I was pulling up his clips if we want to go through like film stuff like we did last time, because I don't know, I enjoyed it. Oh, Bobby,
Yeah.
you're off kilter. What are we
this?
doing?
Hanging on by a thread.
It's because when I edited our boxes the day we were using this layout, I didn't edit his, but I was like looking at KP, some of his shots, and a lot of these are Tatum or Drew or Jaylen Brown like finding KP open places, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Nuggets are just blitzing everything and they're running at everybody who gets open. And so ideally here you see Jayson Tatum in the spot Drew Holiday's in making this pass. And instead of making that one, you kick it to Al, or Al gets up here sooner. And like maybe that's the better pass. But even so, like KP just gets like clawed at and he can't do anything in the paint.
So right there. And again, like sometimes you can't help but get couch quarterback with the, oh, I wish they had done this. Yes, you can definitely get that pass through, and there's probably some Reggie Jackson disrespect involved, which is fair. But if they're just a little bit patient and Drew circles out and Porzingis now has a post up on Reggie Jackson, that's either 2 points for KP or an Al Horford clean look at a corner three. So I think just a little patience in moments like this are also difference makers.
That's a good point. I felt like they got sped up quite a bit yesterday. There were a lot of possessions where they were just like 8 seconds in, time to shoot. Shout Felger and Mazjack, the wee clip that had you irate the other day. But I don't think that necessarily is the right context for it. But they did get rushed a lot yesterday, and they got sped up at bad times. Like there were times in this game that was like the unofficial clutch time I'll talk about from time to time, where they had a chance to cut the lead down or keep the game closer than it got to when they went up double digits, Denver did, and they just didn't execute right. Like Jokic is out of the game early in the second quarter. The bench gives the Celtics the business. Tatum finally comes back in. Jokic comes back in. I think they made a shot, so the Celtics had cut into the lead a bit. They get a stop. Then there's a couple of possessions that are back-to-back threes that were quick. One was ISO. The ball didn't touch anybody else's hands. The other one I think might have been a quick one to Porzingis, who was cold at that time. Like, when you are in a key spot like that, you got to at least work the ball more. I have no problem with it being a three.
This is an example.
Porzingis had a really, really bad night, but he still got good looks out of pick and pop or drive, kick, swing. Like, if they just worked Denver's defense a little bit, the looks got better.
I mean, look at this play right here. Like KP gets tunnel vision. Do you have a butt naked, wide open 3-pointer at the top of the key? If he just realizes
15
that,
seconds on the shot clock,
boop, just literally like flick the ball over the back of your head, and this is an open Drew Holiday 3 instead of whatever the hell this ends up being. Like, KP had a really, really, really bad night, and we're not even watching him get toasted by Jokic on defense, which was also bad.
Which happens. What are you gonna do?
It does, but the issue then becomes when you send help. Well, here's one of the KP Derek White pick and rolls you're mentioning, and it ends up in good offense. But there's only so many times you can do this before the Nuggets are forced to adjust. And maybe that's what you want to do, but that it wasn't there every time either. Look at draws 2, and then I mean this was to hope in the second half. This was great. He nailed 2 threes in a row here,
and that was okay. It was like they worked the defense. They made Denver actually like adjust, throw the doublet Tatum slowly, and he found the open guy. That's fine.
The 8-0 start to the second half was needed and encouraging.
Enough to keep you up if you're not obligated to do a show after.
Sam, I know the answer to this, but I'm asking what it is. Would you rather them get blown out than this?
No. Not from an us standpoint, no. But like if I was like a regular, like I don't have to do a show at 1 a.m. if the game's over, I'd be like, okay, this is over, I can go to bed. Like I truly don't think the Celtics take the sleep of their fans into serious enough consideration when they go out west, because there's always some Mickey Mouse crap that goes on where it's overtime, the game's closed, and then they melt, hate it, despise it.
The Kings game going to overtime in Sacramento was, or I might be sorry, I'm thinking of a different game, but maybe it was last year in Sacramento.
Golden State.
Yeah, that's what it was. Golden State. Yeah, Golden State overtime was
It's like
brutal for people who have to cover this stuff.
There he goes. Yeah, they were just KP wasn't himself. Like he was just.
I hated that one.
Yeah, that one wasn't good.
There was also one early third quarter, fresh off of the 8-0 run, and I get that he had just hit 2, but it was rushed and it was deep and it was a shot that was ill-advised.
Yep, right there. Yeah, he didn't have it, man. It was tough. And then if we want to look at, some of the Nuggets' effectiveness on Tatum. I was watching a couple of these clips last night when I was writing, and they just sent so much pressure at him. Like, look at they just 2 people on him. Peyton Watson. This is the one I'm talking about. Like, where is he supposed to go from here? Like, he can't get it back to Horford. Drew Holiday is like not
this
anywhere.
This is also the tough part of having Tillman
enough.
Out there, because you're fine with him taking threes in the corners. The defense is too, but he's not going to hang above the arc.
Mm-hmm. Then Jokic cuts off any pass he can make that's not like possible to get to by these guys, and so this is like there's too much going on. There was another play. Sorry, go ahead. No, you go.
We saw a lot of that blitz from Denver yesterday. They get to the hash mark, they throw 2 at the guy, and it wasn't just Tatum. Like Brown got one of those, and it was the one that Denver challenged, and it was an overturned Celtics turnover.
They have 2 guys on, like they're just dumping 2 guys on Tatum every time, and he just wasn't ready. There was another one which I'm gonna watch after the turnovers. It was one of his shots late, and I remember we were texting about it. Excuse me, Sam. This was bogus. Also,
I don't know. If that's a fair call.
It's no, it's not at all. That was a flop.
That's an Oscar right there.
I forgot that counted as a turnover. Porzingis was just a ragdoll all night too.
He was weird. Like he wasn't going towards the ball. Like when you get past the ball, you are supposed to go towards the pass a little bit.
I don't know. It's annoying. I'm not looking back at all of these Tatum turnovers. I don't think they're all is quite as bad. This was a bad one. This was the really bad one. Yeah, this was what are we doing? Just make the pass normally, brother. Yeah, I don't get it.
Michael's saying, as much as I want to blame the refs, we have to make our free throws. Yeah, the Celtics don't really shoot good enough, especially Jalen from the free throw line, where you can see them complain about not getting a foul call. Mm-hmm. It's like, really? You want to get put out there for everyone to watch you miss? I think they've lost their complaining to the officials' privileges for at least a game or 2.
The refs were weird. I don't think
they were
didn't
weird.
Affect the game in one way or the other, but the way they were calling the game was odd. Where's the play I wanted to look at? Because we were debating whether or not Tatum should have drove, and my point was, I think this was it, Sam. My point was Horford complete. This was late in the game, or maybe it wasn't this one.
But this was the 3. Yes. I know.
No, not a 3. This one.
No, the 3 defenders.
Oh yeah, the 3 defenders. This was Sam was like
Holiday's open.
Sam said something
look right. He's not getting that pass at this moment.
Yeah, he's open for like a split second when the ball is down on the ground, and then that's
on Holiday to relocate to the corner too,
or Horford to
exactly.
Move.
I was going. I
this is
Horford
the problem.
There.
My mouse 1 too big is in the paint is the problem. Like this is not enough space for anybody to work. And for what it's worth, had it not been for Peyton Watson's ability to rotate over off of a guy who's not standing in the opposite corner, Tatum might have had a chance to make the shot. Though there's 2 guys.
Also, there was credit to Christian Brown because he's there to take the charge, and that impacted how Tatum went up.
And I'm not saying this was a good drive by Tatum, but I think there's a lot more factors in it than just Tatum shouldn't have drove here. I think the spacing is terrible. I don't know. So that's why I wasn't quite as like mad at the shot. In general, but the rest of Tatum's shots of the night, he couldn't have find much
here.
I thought that was falling.
I did too.
I think he did too.
He made a lot out of nothing there.
Oh,
the pass there doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion, because he missing the lob. I know it looked like it was going to work out better for them, and what comes next is brutal. But so is the errant pass on the alley-oop.
You're right.
I just don't think Jalen was expecting it. I don't think it's a bad pass. I don't think Jalen was going up.
I don't think that's a great pass.
No, Jalen was look at how he plans. He knows where he's at. If Bobby's right. If that's an accurate pass, it's a dunk.
I disagree. Watch Jalen. He
He
stops
stops to
Jack,
plant.
even if he's not expecting it and it's not a dunk, a better pass, and that's a layup off the backboard.
I also agree, but I also think this is couch GM. He is 360ing off of a contact, trying to find Jalen. And I mean, I'm sorry. I'm watching Jalen on this play. He stops. He's not planting.
I don't think it would prevent him from catching it and laying the ball up.
I don't disagree with you, in theory, but this isn't I'm gonna plant and jump. This is I'm stopping. Oh, the ball's there. Let me jump. Watch him stop, pause.
He reads the pivot.
I don't know. And then
I think it's another example of needing more poise under pressure. And look, when they were in Boston, Tatum streaks down the court and tries to go through 3 defenders, and credit to Jokic for an amazing play, jarring the ball loose without fouling. But then there's this example again tonight in the clutch where he goes a little too fast and he comes off the spin and tries to fire it up. I'm not saying it's a pass that he can't make, but you need to both have the poise and execute in these moments. And it's unfortunate that the 2 times they saw Denver, he didn't.
Yeah.
It's been a trend. I'll tell you this. We talked about this on Wednesday on the stream. I am happy that we can come back and look back on this game and be like, they got a good shot. They just missed it. Mm-hmm. Of course, they were in transition. It's different than a half-court offense. Oh, he's not talking about the Knicks, in fairness to him. But
loser.
They actually got a good look. All we can be is sucks he missed it. Sucks that he was spinning and threw a bad pass. I agree with Bobby. I think if the pass is more on the money, it is a basket. But Jack has a point where it's tough pass to throw.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and so we know this, that Joe is going to be talking to them about, yes, there's stuff they need to clean up and do better, but he's going to look at all the losses on the margins, the missed free throws, the struggles from beyond the arc, what happened on that sequence we just showed with Tatum. And he's going to say, we lost by 6 points and had a chance to take the lead at the end. So we're right there with this team. I think they feel really confident in how they match up with them and point to, okay, there's all this stuff that's not going well for us here, and we still nearly beat the defending champions. We like what we've got cooking. We just need some of this stuff to get anywhere close to water finding its level, and we should beat them. The problem is that in these games, it's been the Nuggets that find and make the handful of plays that tilt the outcome in their favor, and also do it while in both cases not shooting well from beyond the arc. And the Celtics did a nice job against Jamal Murray overall. He had the buzzer beater in the first quarter and parlayed that into momentum, like you said, Sam, where he didn't allow the Celtics to gain ground in the second in his minutes out there. He had 7 points in that corner and then passed the torch to Jokic when he came back in. But overall, Murray was pretty quiet, only had 19 points. He had 3 turnovers in the second half. And still, again, it was the Nuggets that found ways to win this game.
It was tough.
To the Celtics' credit, 2 days after being awful in the fourth quarter and all they heard about is how they were bad in the fourth quarter, they played a decent fourth quarter. They didn't get all the stops they needed, but I pulled up the play-by-play now, and they were down 11 with 4.5 to play. The fact that they got it to within 1 against a team like Denver, Jack, we kind of texted about this, pretty impressive. They outplayed the Nuggets for 3.5 minutes. They just didn't finish it, which leads us all back to the they can't play in the last minute narrative, which has become somewhat true. But it is a positive, to your point, Bobby, talking about Joe going back, looking at what went right, what went wrong, that they managed to make up a ton of ground on a Jokic-led Nuggets team that is surgical with the basketball. So good on them. It also showed to Drew Holiday.
Yeah. Made a couple crazy shots. They just made too many mistakes in too many areas, from the free throws, missing those, to just weird miscommunications on defense. They were completely scrambled by the Nuggets off-ball movement, to not boxing out Aaron Gordon from the corner in the last few minutes when he was able to keep them in the game, to missing a lot of their threes. There was just too many small mistakes for them to make it up. And I dislike the general idea of, well, they only lost by 6, so like they should be able to win that game because like you didn't win the game, and that's the whole point.
And they really
But
weren't in it for a lot of the game.
Yeah,
in
Denver
theory,
controlled this game for most of the night.
Yeah, in theory, there's ways to get better, and I didn't leave this game saying, "Wow, there's no way they can beat the Nuggets." Thanks, RCK. I appreciate you.
Like, it's a fact.
Oh, I thought I can't see. You want to know the glasses nerf amount?
Oh,
I thought it said,
you read Jack is him?
Yeah. I can't see.
Jack
I can't
is
see
him,
the
though.
words. I'm really trying. I had to re-super glue
I
because
stand
they were
by
loose
that.
again. Also, the fumes of the super glue are not fun. Like it makes me tear up. But
Jack's just emotional over the loss. Tough day. Like,
he takes it personally.
Sleep deprived. Had to watch them lose back-to-back games. I get it.
Behind the frame there, he's cutting onions.
Also, Andrew, for what it's worth, 3-7 in your last 10, brother. Sorry. Hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Been in the comments for weeks.
Yeah, I know. Andrew hasn't spoken in our chat. Andrew's a Knicks fan, Bobby. He hasn't spoken in our chat for weeks.
I only know him because he popped up after the Cavaliers loss.
Shocker.
Shout out, Andrew. How we doing?
Bum. I don't love Andrew, but bum.
Andrew, I think Jack has you on the rat list.
What else from this game you noticed, Bobby? What else would you like to break down? Any clips, anything like that you think is particularly interesting?
I'll try to rack my half sleep brain here, as that sentence doesn't even make sense. But I hate to do another negative play. It just happened to come to mind during that last bit of conversation.
Aren't many positive ones.
Yeah, is that Tatum also, and you could argue that it's more egregious than a missed shot, even though an open corner 3 for the win is one you'd like to see your best player make. But he did have the Aaron Gordon dunk at the end is on him because Drew Holiday rotates as soon as Jokic spins into the paint, and he's not the one who cracks over to tag him, and all of a sudden it's an easy dunk for Gordon.
Both of the Aaron Gordon dunks are on Tatum.
Yeah.
Both of them. The super cool putback and the crazy Jokic, which as obscene of a pass as it was, like Tatum still needed to box.
They're so in sync with that where you don't even know if Jokic is about to shoot it or lob it.
These two plays, Tatum just loses Gordon on the box out. And this is why the Nuggets offense is so good. And I mean, it doesn't help that KP just got dusted by one step.
It's the same thing both times with Tatum where he's ball watching.
Also, for what it's worth, why is KP defending like this? Like, why step up? Why, where are you going?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where are you going?
Maybe he's trying to absorb the contact. Like Jokic kind of fakes a back down step and then ends up doing a drop step.
Now, Jack, what would your response be if you got to ask that to Porzingis in an honest conversation and he said it's by design because they know Jalen's on Gordon in the dunker spot and that he can come from the other side, even though you are giving up the path towards the baseline?
Yeah, my response is, well, then that just puts you guys in rotation. So what's the point of doing that if you can just stay in front of him and prevent him from getting to the post for longer?
He can't.
And then, well, I know, but I'd rather just Jokic have to go through Porzingis than draw two and make an open pass or get another guy free. And for what it's worth, this is Tatum's fault for not boxing out Gordon. However, I guess it works in theory if he boxes out Gordon, which he doesn't. But I'd rather just play him open, like Bobby said, just play him straight up, send the help late if you need to. Because I think if Porzingis, if Porzingis played, you're forcing him to shoot in this case. Maybe that's the Celtics plan, because if you play him honest, then he'll have more time if Jaylen Brown does come to help to make one of these passes. But yeah, that's Tatum's fault. You got to box him out. This is a crazy dunk, though.
It is. It was an awesome play by Gordon. I'm also curious to see. Joe is really creative defensively with what he comes up with and what the Celtics personnel allows him and Charles Lee to concoct. I'm curious to see if they play in the finals, what it looks like defensively from the Celtics schematically, because it's been a little bit vanilla and in cases like this, questionable as to what they've done. I think that's more on the player choice from Porzingis there than strategy. But again, I think the Celtics have a lot in the chamber that they haven't thrown out in these regular season matchups. Classic celebration from DeAndre.
I enjoyed the DeAndre Jordan.
He's very good at this.
The DeAndre Jordan bench arc is so sick. I love that.
Just thinking about the beating that Porzingis took, we all win. He's healthy.
It's true.
He left this game without like a broken rib.
Mm-hmm. I would say this one's more egregious from Tatum because the idea is there. He just fails. Like he sees it, he just goes too late.
he boxes out a ghost.
Again.
I know. These are two really bad defensive plays from Tatum. Like good help, and then he can't stop him.
He was just late, like just late enough. He did kind of catch it, but just late enough. You're right.
Also, it doesn't matter. Far too much flailing from Porzingis in this game. Far too much. Oh, guys, he's hitting. Like, brother, please stay on your feet. Like, if nothing else, for your own safety, please stay on your feet.
Yeah, he wasn't built to fall.
Michael says, "Do you guys think the Celtics have what it takes to beat Denver in a playoff series?" Yeah. I think they can. It's probably not easy. Obviously, they're the champs for a reason, but I don't think it's impossible for them to win a series against Denver. Like I said, I didn't leave this game saying there's no way they beat them.
Yeah, I think what you see is that it's really close between these two. That Denver, between having the best player who gets them a good shot nearly every time down the floor, and just the championship experience and what it translates to as far as being the team that makes the handful of plays that make the difference, the advantage goes to them if these two, in fact, meet in June. But the Celtics are right there, and a lot hasn't gone right for Boston, and yet they've had great chances to win these games.
Yeah, the Celtics did not do themselves any favors yesterday in the maybe I don't fully believe in them part of my brain. But at the same time, they're still a great team. They still have played really good basketball all year. Sucks that they lost. But anybody on Twitter that's like 7 games of this, please, maybe not. Don't say that. I hate those tweets so much. Like, I'd like to see a Celtics championship, but I don't really want to sweat about it, especially not right now. Don't need to think about 7 games after watching what I saw yesterday. Overall, just got to be better on both ends of the floor. It sucks that a lot of Denver's baskets came on the second chance or plays that they could have prevented, like the second alley-oop there. I don't know. It's like a bittersweet game because there are like some positives you can like kind of cope with, but they just were not good enough at the end of the day. Like Tatum missing an open shot, probably not good for the morale amongst the fan base. You got people in the comments trashing him all day. I don't always love that.
There is another thing here. Go ahead, Jack.
Sorry, I just want to respond to this. The time for us, we can't beat them. They're better than us. Timo, it was a 6-point game, and the Celtics played bad. Last time, it was a 1-point game in the end, and the Celtics just missed their shots at the end of the game.
They didn't score for the last 5 minutes.
I think, yes, this is very clearly the best matchup in the NBA for the Celtics. They're the best team in the league for a reason. They have the best player in the world. But saying there's no way they beat this team when they were literally a Jayson Tatum open corner 3 away from leading with under a minute left, I feel like isn't fair either. So I think
they're 2 Tatum shots away from sweeping the Nuggets this year.
It's true.
Well, maybe not. They still lose if that goes in, technically.
In theory, but I know what you mean.
The other thing is the difference in contributions from the second unit. You know, we started the show talking about Payton Pritchard. Didn't see that coming. 28-10 is just way too big of a gap to have to overcome. And Sam Hauser, quiet but fine. I loved when he had the stop on Aaron Gordon and the stuff. Really nice one-on-one defense from him. He made 2 of his 3 threes. He was fine, but again, didn't play a ton. But they didn't get much from Pritchard. And Tillman, there were some good examples of him guarding Jokic. There were some examples of him negatively impacting floor spacing or Jokic scoring over him. So you go up and down the lineup. You know, they didn't get a ton from Steady Al, and they're going to need more from the second unit in a playoff game series, and especially if they do reach the finals.
Yeah, Bobby Manning was talking about it a lot on Twitter, and I think it was a good point. They just didn't use Al very well in this game, I think. Like, it was a lot of go stand here, that's going to be your spot, that's it. And he only played 18 minutes. I feel like this is a game where this is one of the games where you need him to play a lot more than that, because it was very, like, painfully clear Porzingis could not guard Jokic. And for what it's worth, he wasn't really giving you much on offense either. So why not go to even put Tillman in there to play him a little more? Put Horford in there to play him in these one big lineups. Like I think it was Brian Barrett of The Ringer tweeting out like the Horford Tillman thing didn't work out, and Jake Issenberg made a good point. Like, I mean, you got to experiment, right? Like, this is still a regular season, as big of a spot this is. Like, you want to see that there, but like, run the one big lineup, run Horford or Tillman on him by themselves, especially Horford, to guard Jokic a bit more effectively without having to double. If you want to critique Joe, I think that was my biggest thing. Like, why aren't we trying like more one big, more just Horford out there to help? But there is that. Michael, no, I don't think so. I think the refs might have been a little weird with stuff, but I don't think it was necessarily either team got away with an egregious amount of stuff.
I hated some of the technicals.
The techs were bad, objectively.
Jalen with the soft clap getting one was ridiculous.
Porzingis was even soft. Porzingis clapped and then apologized after, and he still got one. What are we doing? Andrew, if that's your takeaway, you don't understand. You didn't watch the game. And that's okay.
I've been telling you he's not an MVP candidate, by the way.
None of us said that he should be the MVP. There was just before the chatter got really loud and the agenda pushing happened, he wasn't even discussed. He was like outside the top 7 at one point.
Sam, don't say a word. We're not going to talk about this. Last time Sam and I talked about this, we got in a screaming match, and I don't want to do that.
Did we?
At 10 a.m.
I don't know if it was a screaming match.
It was a screaming match. It was, because you said, I hate the whole conversation thing, and I said, there quite literally has to be a conversation to determine the winner because it is an opinion-based award. And then we got in a screaming match.
I'm so tempted to have follow-up questions on, but we'll leave it.
This was also
we'll talk about it at basketball.
The reviewing the 3 was weird. I like that one.
He was pissed, Holiday.
I know.
He should have been pissed. That was the worst thing of the entire game to me. Let's stop everything. What is the rule with challenges? I know the 3 is one of the things they're supposedly supposed to be able to review, but I feel like if you can't review out of bounds without a challenge, you really shouldn't be able to review that, or at least stop everything to review it. I don't know. To Timo's point, like, it wasn't even close. He's got the brightest shoes on you could possibly have. It's not like he was wearing a white shoe that blended in with the 3-point line. No. He had highlighter yellow shoes on. Quite literally the easiest decision to make a call on. No need to stop the game. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. And Timo, he did step out on that drive. They got away with that one. Both teams got away with some stuff. Both teams got screwed on some stuff. It was a weird ref game, but in the end, I think it balanced out. So I don't think it affected the overall outcome, which is good.
Also, credit to the refs because they let the play unfold when Jokic picked up his tech, and then Jaylen Brown gets the layup through contact at the other end.
That was the only deserved tech. Jokic, he earned that one. He was yelling. I'm surprised the Nuggets bench didn't get more techs. They were out there too. I don't know. The techs were weird in the night. Anything else, Bobby? Anything else you want to cover?
No, I think we hit on it.
Trivia time.
Let's get the questions rolling.
Trivia time. All right. Let me pull up the sheets. Google Sheets.
Pull it up.
Bobby,
make sure you get the right one there, Blindy.
Bobby, I don't have the address, but Cam is texting us about ball as well. If you know where it is, if you
that's electric.
Texting him back. I don't know the address.
As soon as we get done, I thought he was texting about something else, Jack. As soon as we get done, I'll hit him.
Yeah. Dorchester, Sam.
Well, I know what direction. I know how to get to Dorchester.
I know.
I'm not going to need it probably until I get
I
off
know.
the highway.
Yeah. Okay. Let me do this. I'm fixing my tabs here. 1 second.
I am cooked, dude. It worked my legs yesterday for the first time in 3 years. I'll tell you what. Now, I'll probably do this on the rat list tomorrow, but lunges. I was sweating like I was KG. I'll stall while he comes back. Sweat pouring off of me. I don't sweat when I lift weights. I do too much exercise where I don't think I need to sweat. But unbelievably hard lunges. I wanted to get extra burst on the floor.
You also said this is new, which is probably a part of the sweat.
It is new. It is new. Welcome back, Jack. I was talking about the pain of doing lunges.
I'm curious to see how those legs hold up on the court today.
Not well. Bad first day to play with the fellas.
It might be that you start off a little stiff and then get loose and you're good to go though.
Oh,
I'll be doing all the stretches.
We have a new slate. It is a 2-2 banners for the fellas. Make sure to turn off the chat, Sam, if you haven't yet.
It's off.
Okay. We are doing the fewest total points scored in Celtics history by players that have played at least 100 games. So you need the low number here. Playing golf.
This means they've checked in to 100
Yes.
games.
Also, our Twitters got disconnected for some reason. I don't know why.
They did?
We lost Twitter.
It says
Yeah.
check marks. Maybe it's because you left the tab.
That's so odd because that's not how it should work. But
For
maybe
me,
it's
it
just
says
not
they're all
showing.
checked off still.
It is, but the viewers are gone in the top left is why I mentioned it.
Oh, I still have viewers on mine.
Okay, maybe it's me then. Perfect. That's good. Anyways, fewest points scored by Celtics with at least 100 games played for the franchise. Sam won it last time, so he will be kicking us off here. Michael, I don't know if that's correct. I would have to check, but he's not on the list that I see in front of me. Sam, and as per usual, just going to clarify with you two before we start. We are doing, if you get it wrong, 0, correct?
All right.
Actually, no, we can't do 0 because we're fighting for fewest. So I might have to give you guys like 1,000. or
So
I might have
what
to.
we want the number
whatever.
to be.
Yeah, I have to find. I will match whatever the biggest number is in the game plus like 1,000 or something like that. Like
Okay.
I'll give you a significant disadvantage.
Scal.
He had that ready.
Alrighty, Scout. Let's see here.
I wouldn't be shocked if Scal has not played 100 games.
He has played in 264 games, so you are
Okay.
cool. Brian Scalabrine, 723. To you, Bobby. This is a tough one because you don't want to get it wrong.
Well, I've been too much of a gunslinger, and it's mostly resulted in Brett Favre interception right to the guy. All right, I might mispronounce the last name, but I think this should count because it's going to be very clear what I'm talking about. Scott Wedman.
I do know who you're talking about. I do see him. He has played in 271 games for the Celtics, so you are set.
Attaboy, Scott.
He has scored. Righty. Scott Wedman.
Suspense.
Not
Oh,
quite.
really?
Yeah, not quite as good as Sam. He did get those buckets up in Boston.
Luke Cornett.
Lukey
that guess.
Cornett. Let me see. He has, in fact, passed the 100-game mark.
Oh, I thought you said hasn't. I just went into cardiac arrest.
No.
Luca.
Luke Cornett. Another good guess from Sam. He's cooking a little here. Bobby, you got some catching up to do. There is plenty of room for Sam to also have bad guesses too, though. So no one's ever out of it, which is the nice part of this category.
It's tough because I have one that I think would be a good guess, but I don't know if he got to 100 games. He might have left too early for that.
Michael, your guess is short of the 100-game mark for context. By 2 games, Michael, so it's not a bad guess.
Vitaly Potapenko.
Ooh. Let's see if he passed the 100-game notch for the Celtics. He did. He played in 273, so you're good on that front.
It was a little lower, though.
Vitaly Potapenko. Bobby, this is...
Did he really? Did he really?
Yeah, he needs some catching up here.
Oh, no.
That's garbage.
I will say, though, maybe having a couple high ones is good because I'm just going to plus like 1,000 on whatever your highest is and give it to Sam if he gets it wrong. And that is evergreen. So if you get another higher one, I will add to Sam's. But go ahead, Bobby.
Okay.
Or Sam, I mean.
Sorry, I need a moment.
That's okay. Let me type in here so that we have people who know what it is.
Let's do Brad Wanamaker.
Alrighty. Brad Wanamaker. He has played in 107 games. This is a slaughter. 627 for Mr. Wanamaker. Bobby, to you.
Maybe I will start getting reckless.
Michael, Luke Cornett has played in Michael's asking how many games Luke Cornett has played in for the Celtics. 143. So he's clear. He came into the year with 99 games played, though, so he needed this season.
Ed Pinckney.
Ooh, let's see. Ed Pick. I'm just trouble spelling.
Usually I try to read Jack's expression. Sam's, I can't tell if it's related to the guess right now.
340 games for Ed Pinckney. 340. Ed. This is such an annoying name to spell. Sorry, Bobby. You're going up. You're going up.
The trivia gods are not on my side with this one. I'm stunned that he got to 2,000. You could have showed me it being like 150.
It's tough.
Guy played here too long.
That blows me mind.
Yeah, it's tough. This is a tough one.
Trying to think. I'm sorry.
Michael just goes Sam. Sam knows his Celtics bombs.
Sam's still trying to get hole in ones here.
I know he's still.
Yeah, I want to like protect myself too. I'm gonna guess. How many years was he here? I don't know if he was here long enough. Sorry,
Sam. All of your answers are less than Bobby's last answer. You can guess.
I'm going to guess Amir Johnson.
Amir Johnson.
You're the 2-season guy.
159 games. Yes. You clear. He did get just over 1,000. So not a bad guess.
Terrible guess.
Bobby'd kill for that guess. Oh, I see the viewers on Twitter back. I think it just like glitched.
We're back. Nah, he didn't play 100 games.
This would be a miraculous comeback.
I mean, it's technically possible, but Sam's not gonna top it up.
Sam would need to fumble.
Sam would need to fumble into the other end zone from like midfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if me adding 1,000 to Bobby's highest score would even help Bobby enough in this case.
Bobby
Travis Knight.
Oh, let's take a look.
We shot threes, so this is going to be in the thousands.
5,600.
I haven't earned the right to take any longer with this turn.
I have some bad news, Bobby.
I know.
I don't even think I can lose.
It's a one season, Bobby.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one season. So we're gonna go. I'm just gonna respectfully put a DNF and not even do the math here. Last two guesses.
I'm gonna say Tyler Zeller. That was one I was holding, but I didn't know if he played enough games.
Mr. Zeller, 193 in Boston. Actually played his more games for Boston than any other team. Tyler Zeller, who led the Celtics in win shares one year. What a year. There you go, Bobby.
Didn't finish strong. Sheesh.
Last one here.
I know. I just don't want another. It doesn't even matter. I just don't want to finish with two that aren't on the board. Yeah, I don't want to hit it into the drink twice.
I'm opening the chat. I'm done. Oh, Michaels didn't get enough?
98.
Oh, that's a good guess, Michael. Oh, I have another guess. Just for fun after.
All right.
Matthew's very adamant about his name having one T in it. I like that. Bobby, what we got?
A bunch of names that are probably going to get me on the DNF train.
Mm-hmm.
I will go with Jerome Moiso.
Jesus. Jerome, I see. I was going to say, how do I spell that? 24 games. Sorry. That is another DNF.
How many does Bill
unfortunately,
Walton have, Jack?
Does
he qualify?
Bill Walton has 90 games for the Celtics.
Oh, that would have been a hit.
How many did Chris Humphries play?
I don't think enough because he's not on the stat muse page.
Who's number one, Jack?
Alton Lister. Chris Humphries at 69 games. Alton Lister, 100 games, 220 points. He is 100 points below the next guy. Did not do much.
Can you read off some of the top ones?
Yeah, so a lot of the top ones are guys that are like, what? Who the hell? Kendrick Brown, Eric Fernston.
I was going to guess him. I didn't know if he played 100.
101.
Kedrick Brown, the guy that took out of community college. The same year as Joe Johnson. I was thinking about him, Joe Forte, who's from the same draft class, and
Forte's
Andrew
not
DeClercq.
on there. I don't see him either, but Charles Bradley, Rick Carlisle on there. 157. Phil Pressey, another top name.
I didn't know if he played enough. I did think of him. I'm pissed. Sorry if you have that.
No, pissed.
Do we have to edit that? Okay.
This is fine.
Adrian Griffin also up there. Sam, you did pull 3 from the stat muse though. Cornette, Scalabrini, and Wanamaker all in the top like 25. Nice. So W there. AC Earl also named. But yeah, there we go. It's a 1-0 to Sam in this new series. I'm trying to get creative with the questions. I know. I've been trying to get creative with the questions.
They're good questions.
They are.
It's not the questions.
I'm a fan of this format. It's like Family Feud.
I might have to study for this next one.
Bobby, any final thoughts?
No, just we're gonna hit the film room, see what went wrong, and get ready for the next one. We're gonna have to start trying to get ahead of what obscure question Jack might come up with next.
Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it very much. Make sure to subscribe to How About Them Celtics. Leave a like on the video as well. Check out Bobby's work at si.com/NBA/Celtics. Inside the Celtics there, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads or our streams. We're coming at you every day with something new, so you don't want to miss any of it. You can follow Bobby on Twitter at Bobby Kravitsky. You can catch all of his work for Inside the Celtics, part of SI Media. He is at the games, at the practices. He's got you covered, that's for sure. Unless you're doing bums trivia, maybe not. But
not your guy.
Aside from that, Spotify, Apple, you can follow us there. Get the pods and game recaps right to your inbox. The game recap from today will be there. It's on YouTube. Go check it out. Email hbtcpod@gmail.com. We will be recording tomorrow, so we'll be reading your emails then. I'm sure everybody's got something to say about the Nuggets game, so let us know. You can find us on Twitter at HowAboutThemCs. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can find our streams there and on YouTube and also on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is at Jackson1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe. Come on.